You are so generous with your time, Michael, so generous. Tell me what led you to share your real estate experience with others.
I think there was a couple of things. So, first and foremost, I left my W-2 in the spur of a moment at 45. I had planned to work to 50. I loved my job. I would have done it for free. But there was a set of circumstances that came about that was like, this is not good for you and not good for me. So I quit on a moment's notice. And uh, I was getting depressed, Dana. I mean, the first 3 or 4 days you're excited. The next couple of weeks, you realize that none of your boys can go out and do anything because they're all working. You didn't have anything set aside.
Yeah.
You can, it's like, what do I do all day? Right. And my ego was wrapped up in my job. I liked being very, very good at what I did and highly paid for it. Um, so what really happened is I was sitting at my dinner or my kitchen table. It was a weekend. I think it was Saturday. It might have been Sunday, and I was depressed for the first time in my life. I'm a glasses half full. I believe life is far more enjoyable when you see silver lining even in difficult times. But I was legit depressed. So I remember thinking like, I'm just going to take one of these dozen job offers that I have on Monday if this doesn't get better. Because people were recruiting me and throwing big checks at me to come back to work, and I remember thinking, what a loser. You're going to go get a job at 45 when you can still travel and do all these great things. People dream about this. And you're a freaking loser. You're going to go back to work just because your ego. You're an idiot. Stop that. So pretty much right in that moment, I told myself, I need to revisit where we've been. I want to go back
Mhm.
to the moment I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, the moment I lost 80% of my net worth in the stock market, and document it. Because one of the things that is my failures, I don't have any pictures or selfies of Olivia and I standing in front of that first house or the second house or the third house. I would love to go back and be 30-year-old Michael and see that picture. So what I did instead is I wrote one rental at a time. It's not a how-to book. It's, hey, we just lost 160 grand in the stock market. We need to do something different. We want to have a better future. And here we go. So that's what one rental at a time is. It's a 15-year look back of what happened, the good, bad, and the ugly. And that book poured out of me. It came out of me in raw form in under 30 days. It probably took another 30 days to edit and thousands of dollars to have a professional editor go through it. But it came out of me very quickly. And I was happy again. I was happy again. And I realized on a trip to Taiwan that there was a bunch of real estate channels. This is 2018. But none of the channels that I saw at the time had what I'll consider real decades experience. They were all young, in at least my case, young men who had 3 or 4 units. Nobody had been in the game, for at that time almost 20 years. So I said, you know what? Let's let's try something. I committed to doing a video a day while on the trip and continue to do that when we got back. And again, I found my joy. So the depression went away. And I'm like, okay, now what? So what I really came to the goal of, and I still have it today, is I want to create something that outlives me by 50 years, right? I think you die twice. There's the physical death, and then when people stop talking about you or wishing good for you. So I want to extend my life 50 years after the day my physical body gives up and moves on. So that's what I'm trying to do now. So that's why.
That's great. I don't think I've ever heard that about you or others. You're hearing about these folks who are trying to extend their physical life through science and new technologies. But I like that extending your life just to people knowing you and talking about you.